In this tutorial, we shall learn the select statement in SQL Server, and this is the part 6 of the SQL playlist, and in which we learn all of these things. We'll learn basically everything on the select statement. Select specific or all columns, filter with where clause, distinct rows, joining multiple conditions using and or, wildcards in SQL Server, order by clause to sort rows, and select top end percentage or top end rows. So let's flip over to SQL Server, and I'll be working on this sample DB, and I'll be working on the table employees. So at the moment, this I have actually what I have done is right click, and I have scripted the table as select to new query. Let me again do it. So in the select statement, to select, you can either use select star from dbo.tableEmployees, or you can select each and every row, each and every column or field like this. But if you feel lazy, you can always right click and script the table with select. Okay, so if you run this query, execute, and you'll get all the results. So similarly, if you are wishing to select only with a asterisk, so select star from, what you can do is you can directly drag and drop, and here you can see the DBO. This is the schema. Schema is not in the scope of this lecture, but it will be covered sometime later in some later lectures. So schema.tbl_employees, that is the table, and sample database is the database. So if you run this select query with select star, select all actually, so it will give you the same results. Okay. Now let's see what is a fully qualified namespace. Now this is a fully qualified namespace for the TBL employees, in which this is sample DB is the database, and DBO is the schema, and TBL employees is the table name. So database.schema.tables. So this is important when the context of this query is not this database sample DB, but it is something else, like say master database. So in this case, if you execute this query, this will be getting the right result. But however, if you get rid of sample DB, and let's see, then it will not be able to see the context of this TBL employees and come up with an error. So this is this error, invalid object name dbo.tbl employees, which is expected because you have got this master database context. So to correct this without giving the fully qualified namespace, you need to select the sample DB. Okay, and then if you run this, this will be all right. This will be returning the result. Now next is, let's use, so next thing is filter with the where clause. So let's go to the and see what is the where clause. So select from TBL employees, it is straightforward. Now where clause is actually acting as a filter. So let's see with select star. So select star from you can just drag and drop TBL employees, where name equals from, you can do a just where clause, name equals Ben. And if you run this query, you have to put the right context. So let's switch over to sample DB, or you have to write use sample DB on top of this query. So in this case, only the one employee is returned. Okay, let's do another select from where clause. Select from dbo.tbl employees where gender equals within single quotes male. So if it is varchar or n varchar, then it will be enclosed within single quotes. Otherwise, if it is a number or money, so it will not be without, it will be without quotes. So this one, let's see. So this returns all the male gender records. And then if you write something else where gender equals male, and say you can put and also, and country equals say England, you can see two records. So country equals England, and then you run this query. This will return just two results, okay, where the country is England and gender is male. Now instead of country equals England, you can also write not equal to England, and let's see. So all those who don't have a country of England will be returned, and this not equal to is also written like this. This is also the same. So basically, so from where clause is actually filtering the records out of the full number of records, so that it returns only those satisfying the where clause. And there are many other operators like greater than equal, less than equal, in, between, like, or not. So let's take a few of them, like in. Okay, so let's again see this table, and we have got a salary. These are two salaries, or if we just run the entire query, just see what the result is returned, and then we'll put an in clause or range clause, between clause. So let's see, select star from dbo.table employees. So select star from dbo.employees where salary in 12,000 comma 75,000. This means, filter, give me all the records of employees whose salary is 12,000 and 75,000. So it returns these two results, 75,000 for Eliza and 12,000 for Ken. Now you can use a between operator to specify a range. Okay, so where salary, if you write it like that, between, here this where salary between 10,000 and 50,000, this is self-explanatory that it return me all the employees with this salary between this range, both inclusive. So if you execute this will give me just one salary, one employee, which is 12,000, because if you look for all the employees, you can again verify by executing this. So between 10,000 and 15,000, 50,000, you have got only this employee. All the rest are above 50,000. 80,000. Yep. So salary between 10,000 and 80,000, there are two records. As you can see, if the salary was 12,000 was the first one, and the next one was 75,000. Okay, and these are much higher. So now we have seen these two. Now let's go for this distinct rows. So for distinct rows, this is a select distinct clause. Now here, if you look into the first query, select star from all the records from the TBL employees, you get two records which has got a country England for Sam and Ken. So if you wish to see that, select distinct records for England. Let's see how it works. Select star from select country. You can say select country, select distinct country from TBO.TBL employees. So it brings up just one England as a country, because it is just selecting just a distinct record. Just it will not repeat it will prevent repetition of the England. Okay, so that is select distinct. In case you remove the distinct clause over here and then run this query, the stop line. So whichever line you highlight and then execute, then only that line will be executed. So it will bring the England twice. So that is distinct. So it only returns the distinct records. Now let's see what happens when we put the distinct clause on more than one column. So select distinct, say name and the country from DBO.TBL employees. So, and if you run this query, it gives me this country is repeated. But so how does this select distinct across the columns, multiple columns work? Now this is first distinct, it is returning the result as per the name, so Ken and Sam, but it still repeats England because it is now looking across these two columns to see that these two are still distinct records, because one is against one name and another is against a different name. So that's how this select distinct works across the columns, multiple columns. Let's now see joining multiple conditions using and or. Okay, so now let's go back to the select star, and then I will demonstrate the usage of multiple condition with and or. Now we have already seen this and clause in action. So here you'll get a salary range between this and this, between 10,000 and 80,000, that we have already seen. Now we can see that you can take another column, select star from DBO.employees, where country, where you can say where country is equal to England, or country equals Austria. So it returns only those records having a country as England or Austria. And we have seen and in action. So these are actually compounding multiple SQL statement with or and. Okay. Now another very important clause is the like clause. So like is actually a filter which actually sets out a pattern, which dictates a pattern. So let's see. Now next is wildcards in SQL servers. Now this wildcard is used with in conjunction with the like operator. So wildcards are a few percentage. Now wildcard is like percentage operator which specifies 0 or more characters, and this dash specifies exactly one character, and this empty square bracket any characters within the brackets, and it is CRUD, not any character in the brackets. Okay, so let's go for this, testing this. So now I want to get name of all the person that start with S. So select star from table employees, where name like all the people whose names start with S. So name like within single quotes, within square brackets S, and then percentage, and run this query, and it will bring the name of the person with S. And let's see some other name, say M. So we don't have any name with M, and if we just want to verify what these names are, you can see Ben, Sam, Eliza. Okay, so if you want to get a Jack, you'll get return Jack. Now I want to get the name of all the person whose first name start with J or K. So in this case I'll just put K with J and then run this query, and this percentage is a wildcard which is representing anything after this, the first character, which is J or K. Select star from db.table employees, where name first like either small or mixed casing or capital, and then you can just use this one, a CRUD symbol. So what I said, Ben and Sam, so B and S. So this will be BS, and this one. First let's run this, and this will give all the person's name starting with B and S, and then if you put a CRUD symbol, is another operator, CRUD, this symbol, and then it will exclude those persons' name which start with B and S. Let's now filter out all the employees whose email follows the pattern that it has got exactly one character before the @ symbol and one character after the @ symbol. So this will be changing to where email like within single quotes. So this is underscore is just one character it represents, @ and then underscore and then .com. And if you run this query, it does not bring anything because there is no such employee. If you look into the select, so you have got all of the emails having at least 2 letters before or 2 letters after the @ symbol. Now let's see the order by clause in action. So this is giving all the records, and let's see, select start from db.table employees, order by name. So this will be now in order of ascending names, and if you write descending, DESC, it will reverse the sort order. Okay, so this is a descending name in order of name, order by name descending. So by default, SQL Server orders by ascending order. So you can try some other column like country. Now this is descending order of country, and if you get rid of this descending, then it will be in the ascending order: Austria, Bolivia, England, France. Now we'll do the top n percentage or top n results from the TBL employees. So select, this is straightforward, select top. Say if it is, you can say 50%, 50, either percent, and from DBO select top 50% star. Okay, and then if you click, and it results in 50% of the results. There were 5 records, out of which 3 have been returned. And if you reduce the percentage to say 20 and then execute, accordingly it is reduced to just 1 result, because that is 20%. So that is top 20%, and if you want to see top 2 or top 1, then just top 2 results, get rid of percent here, top 2, just the top 2 results, or if you make it top 3, this 3 results from the top. So in this lecture we have seen basically all the aspects of SQL Server, and we have seen in this order: select specific or all columns, filter with where clause, distinct rows, joining multiple conditions using and or, wildcards in SQL Server, order by clause to sort rows, and select top n percentage or top n rows.